How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with a beer I've wanted to review for a really long time, in the form of Voodoo Brewing. It is their Big Black Voodoo Daddy. Yeah, this is an Imperial Stout, 12% alcohol by volume, bigger beer. And, yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to try this. Honestly, I mean, the barrel-aged version is the one I really want to try. But for some reason, I've always wanted to try this. I've never come across it. I mean, I've gotten Erie products all over the place when I lived in PA, but I've never seen this on a shelf. But I also never went out and tried to track one down. But lo and behold, my boy Steven comes to the rescue and says, hey, man, this is yours. And by that, I mean he put it in a box and sent it to me. So, yeah, let's see what this sucker has. Story time on the side says, the name of the... Rewind, reset, let's go again. The name says it all. BBVD is our Big Bad Seasonal Stout made with copious amounts of chocolate and roasted malts and topped off with the right amount of hops to make it taste like a chocolate bar au naturel. By that, they mean baker's chocolate, not a lot of milk added to it. It's an old secret recipe, Matt brewed back in the day that you can enjoy half cent. I don't know what that means. Good to drink now or age to award-winning caliber. Yeah, 12% alcohol by volume. I don't know how old this is. I don't see a date on this sucker. I'm sure there's some kind of tell on this beer that'll be able to tell me how old it is. I think, yeah, I don't see anything at all. I think Steven said he got a lot of like a little box, or found a little lot, like LOT, of old beer. So he said this might be a couple years old, like 2 years old, something like that. We're diving into it. That's all I know. So let's see what the sucker has. Yeah. It's not that dark. I thought it was going to be way darker. You're talking about 12%, big old Voodoo Daddy level beer. It's not that dark, actually. I mean, on camera, it's going to look dark as dark could be, but it poured like a rich kind of brown color on it. Not much of a head on it. Would I like my coffee to have colored head? But you wouldn't expect much from a 12% stout. So she looks the part of a big stout, but not the 3C thick that the kids nowadays love. Let's see if we get a nose. That smells really good. It almost smells like it has a subtle like spirit involved in it. There's no kind of like charry barrelness to it, but there's this big kind of dark reddish fruit kind of note, cherry, a little bit of plummy maybe vibes, a little raspberry vibes, maybe something in that kind of line that you typically get from like a bourbon or something like that, but you're getting it from a Core 4 kind of beer. And they talk about this kind of all-natural kind of chocolate with no kind of sweetener to it. It does have this soft kind of semi-sweet kind of chocolate thing going on. No booze whatsoever. This has to have a little bit of time on it. Because a lot of those kind of flavors and those rich kind of deliciousness bits and pieces don't really come out until a beer has a little bit of time on it. But man, it smells delectable. Smells soft. Yeah. I want to drink this sucker. Let's dive in. Cheers. It's actually hot on a taste. Yeah, a little prickliness of heat there. Nothing too crazy. A nice roast characteristic. Definitely comes off more bittering than sweet. I mean, it's probably even, but I thought it was going to be a little bit sweeter based off of the nose. That roast has this bitteringness to it. I think it's a bittering from like a roasted bittering astringency on top of a decent amount of hops. I like this. It's fun. It's not like as impactful or crazy as I thought it would be. But I like it. That red cherry note falls through in the taste. It almost feels more like a spirit characteristic because of that little bit of heat in the beer too. And by that I mean, not a lot of people do them. But if you've ever had like blended beers, there's this one weird brewery out by Jim Thorpe. And they don't barrel age beers. They make their own beers, but they blend them with spirit. Like there's no barrel involved. They just kind of blend beer with spirits. That's kind of how this comes off of me. So you're talking about a very low ABV kind of bourbon-esque kind of spirit kind of blended with a big Imperial Stout. That's kind of how this beer comes off. Not in a negative way, in a very fun kind of positive way. Super creamy, soft mouthfeel that's kind of has this kind of battle with this kind of sharp hop / roasted malt kind of bittering on it. Every sip I take, I get a little bit more jamminess off of it. It went from fruit to a little bit bigger fruit. Now that third sip was like a big jammy component. So I'm getting more in like a raspberry jammy kind of thing going on with this beer, which is totally fucking fine by me. It's one of my favorite things when it comes to beer, especially dark roasted stouts. I think it's fun. It's tasty. Yeah, I love this. Still want to try the barrel aged version, but this is pretty fun stuff. Thank you very much, Steven. So, yeah, let's talk about it. It's one of the better Core 4 stouts that I've had as of late. Yeah, it's in the conversation. It's not King Shit of Fuck Mountain, but it's tasty. I'd like to see this one maybe about 4 or 5 more years on it. I think it would kind of turn into something even more award-winning, as they would put it, but tasty nonetheless. Value availability, no idea. Steven, let me know it's what. And leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like old school stout. That's kind of where this one leans. With the way the bittering comes off, the way the beer shows in general, just tastes like an old school kind of stout in a very positive way. I'm not saying that as a negative. So if you dig old stouts, you dig this. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little old school stout right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.